Hi everyone, and welcome to a fresh episode of Gary Mosher arguing with the universe itself. Spoiler, the universe wins. Today's feature, Gary making yet another spectacular fool of himself for his devoted low IQ audience. Luckily for him, Gary Mosher is the only YouTuber on Tyler Street whose subscriber count remains stubbornly smaller than his video count. It's like a garden where the weeds outnumber the flowers. Let's dive into today's main topic, Newton's second law. I'm showing here the original law as stated by Newton in the Principia. Apparently, Gary agrees that this is really what Newton wrote. The problem is that Gary doesn't understand Latin, neither does he understand his own native language. You see, Gary, the Latin word mutationem means change. Read it again. Change in motion. That is not the same as motion alone. So, if you really do understand your own native language, then you are blatantly lying when you claim that Newton said force equals mv. Moreover, when you quote a book, you are not supposed to dismiss, or should I say, purposely hide the crucial precisions that the author gives about his previous statement. In particular, Newton clarified that the change in momentum he's talking about is instantaneous, implying it happens over an infinitesimal time. Then Newton tells us how to calculate this instantaneous change of momentum by defining what he calls ultimate ratio as the limit of the ratio of vanishing increments. So, Newton makes it clear that force continuously changes momentum and that this continuous change of momentum is calculated as the ultimate ratio that he defined. This is literally the definition of a derivative. Just because Newton used words instead of a mathematical equation doesn't make the equation wrong. So yes, Newton's second law is totally equivalent to saying that force is equal to the time derivative of momentum, which, if the mass is constant, reduces to the well-known F equals ma formula. No, Gary, don't cry yet, I'm not done with you. So, I made an experiment in which I literally let nature prove that twice the force doesn't produce twice the change in velocity, and, as we all expected, Gary cowardly fled from the overwhelming proof by claiming the experimental results were fake. In particular, he exposes his complete stupidity by challenging me to explain why the velocity versus time doesn't show a region where the glider was at rest. This is a really dumb question, since I explicitly mentioned in the video that he criticized that there is an automatic trigger that makes the computer start collecting data only once the glider is 20 centimeters away from the detector, hence when its velocity is non-zero. And I also showed this in real time. We can clearly see in my video that the computer records the data only after the glider has been released. And the reason for setting up this trigger is well known. Ultrasonic sensors have a dead spot that makes them incapable of determining the distance between them and objects that are too close. This emphasizes that, once again, Gary has no clue about the subject he's trying to talk about. He would make a better use of his time if he went fishing. This brings us to Gary's latest attempt to prove that nature itself made a clerical error. If he were auditioning for a one-man comedy showcase, he could stand shoulder to shoulder with Jerry Lewis and quite possibly walk home with the trophy. Just look at his latest experiment, a curious performance in which friction must never be spoken aloud and measurements tiptoe quietly offstage to avoid embarrassment.
But, that was way short again. So, it is dramatic. When it goes bad a lot. Okay, so that's, again, pretty dramatic difference. A lot more.
While the laugh-o-meter hit a level that had never been reached before, Gary miserably failed to convince his most dedicated audience. In a desperate attempt to recover the lost subscribers, Gary had to resort to the proof by rage. Did it work? See by yourself.
Despicable lying. What the fuck? The fuck? Fuck!
Well, I guess no comments are needed. Gary likes to claim that I'm doxing him because I call him by his real name. Well, I'm sorry, Gary, but there is no law that prevents anyone from calling you by your real name. So, if you are ashamed of your name at such a point that you don't even dare to reveal it to your followers, then perhaps it is time for you to stop your dark activities that led to such a shame. Also, I want to point out that in one of your latest defaming videos, you are actually self-doxing by revealing your full name to the web. Check for yourself, Gary. It is in your own video. To conclude this episode, I have to mention that Gary has been very upset lately because of his failed attempt of accusing me to be a teddy bear molester, which bounced back into his face. Indeed, records show that it is definitely him who is a teddy bear molester. We can cite, for example, this video where Gary cannot keep for himself his fantasy about 17-year-old girls.
That used to be one of my favorite fantasies, was always the island thing, though. Islands are a great way to fantasize. Like, you just fantasize like you get in a plane wreck and like all the men on the plane die and all there's left are the women's, you know, and they're all like 17-year-old women's, 17-year-old women's.
Oh, you think it's just a fantasy? Well, not quite. See this other video where he's hunting 13-year-old girls. Listen to how creepy he sounds. There is even someone making him notice that the two girls he's hunting are only 13-year-old, and Gary shamelessly confirmed that their age is not a problem.
You are cute, you little girls, you. Girls. Jesus, they have such power, man. Just the amazing power of the girl. You know, it's just the way it's just wielded, you know. All they do is they have to just smile. That's all they have to do. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm having a good day now. The girl's smiling. I mean, it's amazing power. God, it's like I never really wish I was a girl, but I just love to have that power for a day. Just be just some hot girl and just like wield my power to please people.
Less power when when you realize they're 13.
Whatever. It's not a Jesus. Is somebody soliciting sex or something? Why do you pricks have to worry about how old they are?
Tell us again, Gary, who's the teddy bear molester.
You are cute, you little girls, you. Girls. Girls.